Now, I'll be honest here, I was struggling on if I wanted to even make this video, right? Because I had two options. I could either, one, show my deaths, pretend to be sad about it, and then just post it, or two, I could just be honest with y'all. And honestly, it's time to go the honest route. So let me just be honest now. I don't really like Alliance War, and I've never really liked it in the first place. I've only played it because the rewards are really good, and I get to play with my friends as well. Now, the friends part, of course, is the most important part of Alliance War. So when you die and all that, you are supposed to feel bad about it. And there is a part of me that does sting a bit whenever I do die, but in this meta, that just isn't the case really, because with this meta, everyone is just dying, a lot. This current war, the final score was 23-21, so that should speak volumes, because we are a top Masters Alliance, and so is Nefty. So, when these alliances die this much, it kind of just makes things more fun for me. And I'll be honest here, I think that this is my favorite Alliance War season ever. Now, it's not perfect, right? The item cost, it does really affect your account, right? Your resources and all that. But besides the item cost, the way that the deaths just keep on piling up, I think it's just so good, because the pressure that's on you to not die, it kind of just loosens a ton. Because before this, it was the decay meta, right? And decay, if you died once, you could have cost your alliance the whole war, because the decay meta, the wars were 0-0 sometimes. It was just insane stuff. So if you died once, you just cost the whole alliance the alliance war. So now with this current meta where if you die once, you're dying in a pond of 23 other deaths, I really like it this way, because I don't feel as bad about my deaths. And with myself personally, I've never liked being super competitive, for trivial things at least. And this game, I wouldn't say it's super important, right? When you think about it, it's just a game, right? So if you die in Alliance War, the whole world just doesn't stop spinning because you died once in Alliance War. And this meta, especially, if you die once in this Alliance War season, I don't think anyone really cares, right? It's just pretty funny, if anything. But yeah, I think that people who take Alliance War seriously are fine. I think they're great people that if they want to take it seriously, they should by all means, because yeah, Alliance War, if you're at the top, does net some great rewards, right? But for me personally, I'm just trying to have fun here. And when I see the death counts just being this high, I'm having a ton of fun, because the pressure is just completely off my chest, and I just don't feel like I have to really try as hard. And I know that isn't a good thing, because if you don't try as hard, you'll get more deaths, and that can actually cost the alliance an alliance war. But it's just hard to not have fun in this meta when everyone's just dropping deaths left and right. I don't know, man. That's just how I feel about it. But yeah, this whole thing, it's just a rant at this point. So I'll just try to get back on track. This Rintra fight, it's no big deal. It's a path 4 Rintra. Mole Man kind of just destroys it, but I do play it pretty badly for sure. Right here, I didn't drop my heavy attack, so that happened, which is pretty goofy. And yeah, that's really about it for this one. I dex that, drop the SP2, and yeah, this fight is essentially over now. So that was pretty straightforward, but here comes the first death. And I had so much fun this war, because the deaths were also really goofy, and I knew that they really didn't matter at this point because the war was kind of won already. So I was okay, I can die 5 times if I wanted to. Of course, that would suck to do, right? But if it does happen, I won't get trashed on too much, and I wouldn't feel that bad because the war was still won at least. So yeah, I just didn't feel too much pressure here, but that kind of was my downfall as well, because when I'm not feeling pressured, I play very poorly. And you're going to see right here that while I played poorly, I didn't die because of it. I died because of a misinput. So check this out. We're going to drop the SP2, does some pretty good damage output, but then look what happens right here. I dash back, and then whatever this is, I go in for a hit. I did not do that myself. I did not press the right side of the screen ever. I held my finger on the block button, and that was like, okay, you're trying to go in, right? But no, I'm not. I'm trying to block that attack. But yeah, there is one death. That honestly didn't feel like my fault, but I'm not going to try to, make excuses because I don't care that much at this point. The war is won. I already did the deaths, right? So I'm not too fussed anymore. I'm just having some fun here. But yeah, that first one, on a scale of 1 to 10 on the Goofy meter, probably like a good 11 because I died in the silliest way possible. But now this one is kind of boring. It's just a boring death, really. I just played it badly. I miscalculated. Not the most fun time out there for sure, but we go back in after this, and I forgot to knock her down, which is pretty massive because look at this. My SP2 doesn't finish off Titania. So then she drops the SP3, and that one-shots me. So on a scale of 1 to 10, probably like a 6 or something. Not too goofy, just bad play by me, which is whatever. I do feel bad about this one for sure because that was just me being very, very bad. But now this war, it's getting kind of tight, right? I'm like, okay, I can only die like 3 more times now, so I got to be careful here. I cannot afford like that many deaths. Already died twice. That does kind of sting a bit, but honestly, I'm like, you know what, man? Let's just get the war over with. Let's just try to finish off with the win. I'm kind of tired at this point. I'm like, I just want to be done with this so I can just go on, do some YouTube things, do some other things. But yeah, let's just finish this off, I guess. And here I get hit as well, which is pretty funny. So yeah, I just played terribly throughout this whole entire Titania fight. And the fight is now over essentially, so that's pretty cool. So we can just, end my misery with this Titania and then just go to the boss. But first we have this gore actually, and this gore is no big deal. I mean, it's just a rank 3 gore, which honestly is kind of scary at first, but with long shot here, it is very, very straightforward. Now, this gore had recoil mastery, so that was a nice sigh of relief for sure, because yeah, recoil masteries with gore, he just cannot do anything really. It's pretty hilarious. But we go back in, drop a combo, drop the SP2, and now this matchup is essentially over. So yeah, not too bad. He's pretty straightforward on this node especially. So yeah, this was just a free fight pretty much. Here it drops the SP1, it does a lot of damage to him, and that is that. Not too bad in the slightest. But now we have the main event of goofiness. This one, I'm not going to take any responsibility for because I did play it bad, right? But the reason I died was because of a very, very annoying bug. And I don't care about this death at all, really, because it wasn't even my fault. And I don't care about, like, the death in general, right? But when you affect my Mole Man, then I get pretty upset because Mole Man is my favorite champion in this game. And I want him to work completely fine, right? But there is a bug that affects him in a pretty major way, which is super, super annoying. So, yeah, there I get hit, I mess up, I get pushed at 3 bars of power. That was my fault completely. I screwed that one up for sure, but this isn't over yet. I still have a chance to just regroup and get the solo here, but look what happens afterwards. That really does mess with my mind a bit. Here, she drops the SP2, I think. No, there is where the bug occurred. She dropped an unblockable hit on Mole Man, who blocks all unblockable attacks. Explain that. There is no explanation for it. That's just a straight up bug, and it's so dang annoying because look what happens afterwards. Unblockable, we block it completely because Mole Man is supposed to do that. But here I can just drop the SP2. I mistimed it, which is whatever, but here's what annoys me the most. She breaks my block again, which is supposed to be impossible, by the way. So that is just amazing. And yeah, that cost me the entire matchup, which is so annoying because Mole Man can do that fight pretty dang well. I figured, right? But at this point it's whatever. That's just a very annoying bug, and I hope it gets fixed ASAP because yeah, that cost me an Alliance War matchup. Now thankfully the matchup didn't really matter because the war was already won, but still that was not fun at all to deal with. But Mole Man here does pretty great for the rest of the matchup. Just gotta watch the unblockable because apparently Mole Man can't block any unblockable, which is just completely false. That should be the case. He should block every single unblockable attack. But yeah, the war is now over, and that was honestly so goofy. But yeah, that last death I was pretty frustrated with, because I just want the best for Mole Man, right? And like, if he's bugged in that way, that is just not good at all for him. But yeah, this war, pretty goofy. It was a goofy time, but we got the win, and that's all that matters really. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on this war video, and yeah, that's about it for me.